Hey there, welcome back. This is Rishabh and I welcome you to video 5 of the Python verse series. I hope you are enjoying the series, and just in case you have landed directly on this video, I recommend that you watch the previous videos as well to add let's say more to your knowledge. So in this video number 5 we are actually going to put our skills to work. Like we are going to build a small calculator with Python, and whatever small insignificant content which we have grasped so far, we are going to put it all to practice. So here is a small exercise which we are going to perform in this video. So the first thing which we need to do is we need to ask the user to input the radius for a circle, right? Circle is a geometric figure. It's a 2D plot basically, and then we are going to calculate the circumference of the circle. So circumference is the how should I put it? So distance, like if you start from any point on the circle and you take a complete I would say you come back to that same point on the circle after walking through the circle, then that means you have covered the circumference. And similarly, area means whatever area has been encircled by that specific circle. So we have to calculate these two things, and there are mathematical formulas for this, and I will also introduce a new concept here. And then we have to, like, once we have calculated those results, we have to display the results on the terminal. So without wasting any time, let's just jump into coding. Let me create a new file. Let me call it calculator.py. I could have named it simple calculator as well, but that shouldn't be a big issue. Cool. So we are saying calculator to calculate area / circumference. Circumference is also called perimeter by the way. Yep. And calculate the area and circumference. Read radius as input from the user. Now there is one thing which I want to talk about. Python has got some modules, some functionality built in. We will talk more about this when we cover modules in a future video. But for now, what is important is that you people understand that we can import functionality, the built-in functionality in Python like this, by using the import statement. Think of it as something like, so for example, let's say you do not have all the expertise with you. So whenever you have fever, you seek the doctor, right? You go to the doctor because they have that knowledge, they have that expertise. Similarly, when you want to, let's say, when you want to learn something, you go to a mentor. And similarly, if you want some entertainment, then you go to the respective person. So you don't have all the expertise. Similarly, your Python program is not going to have all the expertise. So you're not going to write everything by yourself. Sometimes you are just going to import it from the Python's built-in functionality. And in some other cases, you will also use the code which is written by somebody else, which is not written by you, like the code written by some third party. We will discuss all of that in detail in a future video, that how exactly that needs to be accomplished. But here what is important is that we have imported math. Why have we done this? Because we want to use the pi value. If you remember that circles circumference, it's 2 pi into radius. So it's basically 2 into pi into r. That's the formula, right? And similarly for the area of the circle, it's pi times r times r. So that's why we needed pi, and math provides us the value of that pi, right? Even though, like, if you remember, I think I remember from my childhood days that we used to assume the value of pi to be 3.14, but I think it's better to take what Python provides. So yep, let's perform the step 1. It's always good to write comments in your code because that makes your code look clean. So it's a good practice. So step one is like I want to read the radius, so I'm naming the variable as radius only. It's going to be input, and we are going to say please enter value, please enter radius. Let's keep it like this, please enter radius /n. Cool. So now radius is stored in this, but whenever we are reading the input, like whatever variable we are storing it in, by default it's going to be string, right? So we have to convert it into an integer. Now I want to tell you that you can do that right here as well, like you can convert it here only. There is a problem with this which I can talk about. Let's assume user enters something which is not convertible to an integer. We saw examples in the last video. So let's say user enters something like gorishabhio, or user enters something like Python, then this will throw an error, right? So I mean, I do not recommend this. So but yeah, I just wanted to tell you that this is also one of the ways wherein you can use the output of this function as an input to this function. So this is one of the ways of writing things. So now we have radius as an integer because it came as a string, but we typecasted it into an integer. So we have the radius. Now let's say circumference. We are going to calculate circumference as the formula is 2 into math.pi, that is math.pi into radius. This is the formula. So we are simply applying the formula, and then the area of the circle is equal to math.pi into radius. This is the formula. So we have both the things. Now we have to print circumference of the circle is, and I can add f here for the formatting. And now what I can do is I can simply write circumference here, my variable, right? Similarly I can do for my area as well. Area of the circle is, it's good to make it a little formatted, and I can write area here. Now as you can see, just like a few lines of code, and we have built a small calculator in Python. And now before I talk about what else we can do, let me just quickly execute this. So Python video 5, and then we have calculator.py. Please enter the radius. Let's say I enter the radius as 7. Let's see the result. So the circumference of the circle happens to be 43, which happens to be correct, and the area of the circle happens to be 153 point something. Amazing. So our software is working. As you can see that we are getting the result as a float, which is not a problem because we do not have any such constraints here. Now that you know that how exactly you can perform these calculations, you can extend this idea to other things as well. So for example, some of the things to try, let me write some things to try here, or maybe let me put these in the intro one. Yeah, things to try. Calculate, let's say, area of maybe surface area of sphere, then convert degree to Celsius, then maybe convert let's say kilometer to meter, and vice versa, and all such programs you can build. The very simple programs wherein there is a simple formula, so you can build all such calculators now, and this should be easy for you. Cool. So I think that's it for this video. Like, the agenda was to build a quick small calculator, and we built this one. Now from the next video, like, we have we are done with the very basics, wherein we were just like introduced to the language. In the next video we'll be starting with things like decision making. So stay tuned, and thanks a lot for watching this video. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.